morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Some response, please.
Good morning.
Very good. Excellent. It's an honor to be in front of you and speaking on this TEDx stage provided to me by Pandit Deendayal Energy University. It's again an honor to be sharing my abstractions from the 17 years of my journey as a marketer. And I'm hoping to invite and invoke the marketer in each one of you. And hence I'm saying, everybody should be a marketer regardless of your profession. Allow me the next 17-18 minutes to make a case for myself. Before I begin my topic, I have statutory warnings for you, like they always do. I have sat through many boring presentations and I did not like them at all. And so therefore one of my thought process was that I will always make my presentations interesting. And since I believe that you will find my presentation a little bit more interesting than possibly many others. What I also do is that I put slide numbers on my presentations now, so that if they are not interesting, at least you know how long you are going to get bored. But for today, I only have about 17-18 minutes, out of which I have consumed one. So you have to bear with me for the next 16 or 17 minutes, and that should be doable. With that promise, let me begin. One of the key things that I wanted to talk to you about is the marketing as a profession. Yes. Okay. 16 years back, when I joined my first position in Uttar Pradesh, I told my family members that I am now an ASM for confectionery for Cadbury in Uttar Pradesh. You know what all of them said to me? They said, oh, okay, now you will be marketing candies from shop to shop. And that was my first brush with this term called marketing. And I understood that the public at large thinks that marketing is all about being a door-to-door salesman, selling something. Over a period of time, I got exposure to both sales as well as marketing very, very closely. And therefore, first thing that I want to share with you, the difference between sales and marketing. And very simply, marketing is something which creates demand. Sales is something that services that demand. And I believe that marketers are usually the best salesmen in the room, because they are not selling any product, they're not selling any service. What they're selling, however, is conviction and belief. And selling that is difficult because you can't see it, you can't feel it, but you get it only in your mind, in your hearts. And today I'm here to sell the belief that everybody should be a marketer. And let's see how it goes. Now, the way marketers create belief is by creating what I call as the belief ripple. The first stage of that belief ripple is by creating sufficient conviction within oneself that this is something that I really, really believe in, and hence I want to propagate it. Then from me you go to we. You create conviction amongst people who are around you, your ecosystem, your colleagues, your friends, your family. And then when you're sufficiently convinced, you convince the world at large. You employ mass media strategies to make sure that the world believes in what you believe. And that is how you get to market whatever you are marketing. Today, everybody thinks of this only from a commercial or a company point of view. For example, if I am a product manager and I want each one of you believe that this product is good for your kids, I will first convince myself, I will meet my product team, R&D team, help them tell me why this product is good. This process will help me frame my arguments. It will help me craft my proposition. Then, as a product manager, I will talk to the rest of the marketing ecosystem, my leadership, and try to convince them. This process helps me sharpen my articulation. And when I'm very sure, and when I've convinced my company, then my company puts resources behind it and allows me to take this conviction to world at large. And that is how I get to convince consumers across India, or across the world that this product is safe to consume. But I'm not here to talk to you about the world of FMCG or marketing in commercial spaces. Regardless of who you are, whether you are a painter, a doctor, or a sports person, each one of you goes through this journey of first convincing yourself that you're good enough, you're best in your field, you have what it takes to be able to exhibit your talent, to take your talent to the world. Then you make your family members, your friends, your colleagues, your coaches believe in yourself. And once you do that, you get the platform. If you're a painter, you get a gallery. If you're a doctor, you get to operate, you got to consult patients in a hospital. And if you're a sports person, you participate in district level, national level, international level sports meet. But those are all platforms to do what? To create conviction in the world that you are better than most others. You are possibly the best at what there is in that profession. And hence, each one of you, regardless of what your profession is, should be a marketer. And that should be your journey of transferring your conviction from your heart to everybody's hearts in the world. And that is how we create this belief that all of us want to improve ourselves. All of us want to create conviction about our deep beliefs in everybody out there in the world. In this process, the most important component is the conviction in your heart. And that is specifically what I will talk to you about. This conviction is so critical because only then you have the confidence and you put up the effort to take this conviction to everybody across the world. And this is something that you should really concentrate on. For all of you who are listening to this, you might be pursuing different professions, but if there is one thing that I can leave with you, it is about the fact that you need to be able to create very deep convictions in your heart. And I will talk to you about how to do that in a very systematic manner. I have what I call a 5-point formula for you. And formulas I find make it easy for people to remember and to conceive something. So allow me that leverage. The first point in my formula is your flair for storytelling. If you believe in conviction, you should be able to tell a great story about it. All of us have grown up listening to stories from our parents, our students, TV, internet, etc. And believe me when I say this, nothing creates better conviction than a story. No amount of presentation or discourses will create the amount of impact that a story does. And hence, if you want to invest in yourself, if you want your conviction to be carried to the world regardless of whichever profession you are from, learn to tell a story. And how do you do that? I have a simple exercise that you can do. Pick up any topic that you like or dislike. Research a little about it and then prepare a 10-minute speech as if you are delivering the definition of that topic to a 10-year-old. When you talk to a 10-year-old child, you are forced to simplify all the concepts in a very lucid manner so that everybody understands them very clearly, and you are also able to tell your story in a very simple manner. If you do that, you will be able to keep getting better at this particular trait of flair for storytelling. The second trait is about comfort with ambiguity. And what is ambiguity? Ambiguity is all about situations where you don't have clarity about the way forward, where everything is not clear to you. And believe me when I say this, life is ambiguous. It is going to be ambiguous as you keep ahead. And therefore, there are two invitations that I have for you. The first one, be comfortable with ambiguity. It is okay to admit that you don't know. When you admit that, you open yourselves to seeking answers. You open yourselves to asking questions. And when you ask questions, people provide help. Too often, our pride comes in the way of asking questions. And therefore, you should create that conviction in your head that asking questions is okay. You can't know everything. And the second invitation that I have is about trying to find structure even in the most ambiguous situations. That is something which helps you create belief. That is what you will see most of the people practicing around the world. How do you do this? Again, a practical suggestion for all of you. Try going on internet and find questions which are asked by consulting companies. They are the ones who test their candidates on this specific capability. One of the examples of a question that I remember from my college days is how many tennis balls can fit in an aeroplane. Now it's an ambiguous question, you guys don't know the answer. But you have to be able to, number one, admit that you don't know, ask questions, and number two, try to find structure. How do you do that? Number one, ask the interviewer, can I assume that the plane is a cylinder? Yes or no? If the interviewer says yes, that's your first win, because now you know it's a defined structure, you know how to calculate volume of a cylinder. Then you know ball is a sphere. So therefore you should be able to calculate the volume of a ball. And then you know, if you divide them, you know how many balls will fit in. However, if you go further into the concept, you can ask the question, what is the packing efficiency I should assume? Which means when all the balls are fitted within the aeroplane, there will be still some space left. How do you account for that space? You don't know, but it is okay to seek. It is okay to ask. And if you ask, you find some kind of help. And that, my friends, is an invitation to you. It is okay to seek, it is okay to ask, and it is always honorable to try and find some structure in any ambiguous situation that you get into. It will help you become a better marketer for yourself. The third one is consumer centricity. Too often, when we start handling a brand, when we start handling ourselves because we are a brand, we think that we know everything. It is all about us. Believe me when I say this, it is not. It is all about your target segment. If you remember my first example, where I was a product manager trying to create conviction that this product is good for your kids, my target segment is parents for the kids. So therefore, everything that I do should be about the parents. I should be able to empathize with them. I should be able to sympathize with them. I should be able to mirror their feelings, but it is all about them. If you're a sports person who is trying to create conviction in the minds of people at large, in the minds of sports lover at large, it is your responsibility to empathize with your target segment. And therefore, you will find that sports person are asked to follow a model conduct, because it is not up to them. You're trying to create conviction in the world at large, and therefore, the world at large needs to see you in a certain light. And hence, everything that you do is about your consumer. How to practice this? Very simple. Every day when you go out, you meet a lot of people. You meet security personnel in your college. You move out, you meet an auto wala or a taxi wala or a cab guy. Speak to them. Understand what their life is all about. Empathize with them. Learn how to ask questions which make other people feel comfortable and share their life with you. If you are able to do that well, my friends, you will be able to empathize with everybody around you. And if you empathize, you will be able to be consumer centric. And then you will be able to transfer your convictions much better than anybody else. And hence, please empathize, please sympathize with your consumer and not just with yourself. Fourth is about intellectual humility. Intellectual humility is having the knowledge that despite your mastery, despite your education, despite your experience in any field in the world, there will always be significantly more knowledge out there than you can have. Hence, it is okay to admit that you don't know it all. And hence, it allows you to become curious. It allows you to receive information and insights from others. It allows you to be what I call as ubiquitous assimilative. You should be able to assimilate all the time. You should be curious all the time. And only when you do that will you make progress, will you continuously improve. Have you ever seen a sports person who is not striving to better their record? They always do. Why? Because they want to continuously improve. They know despite being national champion, there is significantly more scope for improvement to go up there. There are people who are Olympic champions, they're best in the world, still they break their records. Why? Because they concede that there is even more improvement that is possible. There are research scholars who keep learning all their lives. They have Nobel Prizes dedicated to them. Why? Because they are intellectually humble. And that, my friends, is another quality which will help you to assimilate more, learn more, get better, and therefore create better convictions amongst people in front of you, because you know you need to improve, because you know you need to create better convictions. Last but not the least is comfort with being king without the crown, and this is my favorite. This is something that hit me when I joined the marketing world. You want to create conviction in people at large. However, you're not the only one who will be able to do it, because you need a team. Now this team of product, research and development, logistics, operations, finance, sales, shopper marketing, these are all people who are specialists in their fields, however they don't report to you. And hence, you need to have the skill to be able to build a common vision, give them sufficient reason and inspiration to work with you seamlessly and help bring your vision to life. You're a painter and you want to create this conviction in the world that you are possibly the best painter out there. You can't do it alone. You need curators, you need exhibitionists, you need gallery owners to be able to do it for you, and all of them don't report into you. You need to be able to paint the vision where storytelling will help, and you need to be able to be comfortable in the role of being a king without a crown. You're a leader, you're leading a team, however they don't report into you. How do you practice that? Again, a very simple philosophy. In your family setting, school setting, college settings, there are events that keep happening, like the one that we are participating right now. The act of taking the responsibility of organizing that event, rallying various specialists around you, gives you the right experience of being able to play the role of a king without a crown. And hence, my invitation to all of you is to take initiative. When you take initiative, you take responsibility, you become responsible for a certain area, and then people rally around you. And that is how you learn interpersonal skills about personnel motivation, so that you are able to take everybody along and achieve things which you previously thought was not possible to be achieved on your own. Do it with your family vacations, do it with your college fest, do it with your school fest, but please take initiative. And that is how you will be able to become a better marketer. All of these are various behavioral traits which will help you create sufficient belief in yourself that you are making progress, your convictions are becoming stronger, you are building an ecosystem around you which is going to carry your story to the world and thereby convince the world about the conviction that you have really built strongly in the core of your heart. These 5 behavioral traits, when not just recognized, not just exhibited, but improved over a period of time, will create the marketeer in each one of you. And once you do that, it allows you to create any kind of conviction in the world, regardless of whether you are Malala and you want to talk about world peace, regardless of whether you are Mahatma Gandhi and you want to talk about non-violence, regardless of whether you are a Sudeep Chawla who wants to create conviction about marketeer. It doesn't matter who you are. It just matters how strongly you are creating your conviction and how well you are displaying these behavioral traits in carrying your message to the world. And hence, I will consider it a great success if today I am able to inspire all of you to follow these 5 behavioral traits and bring out the marketeer in each one of you, regardless of the profession that you pursue. That's been my time. Hopefully, I've been able to inspire you all. Thank you very much.